Hi guys, happy Monday. Hope everyone's doing well. So we just got done with basically our last weekend in the month of July. We're a couple of days away from the new insurance options going into effect. And I wanted to sort of summarize how my month of July went thus far. And one of the main things, if you've been watching my videos, is since the beginning of July, I have been experimenting with really raising the prices on all of my cars to see how consistently the market could support higher pricing. And I have to say, now that we're basically towards the end of July, that it's gone very well and the market has supported higher prices. Now, for me personally, right now I'm on the 70% insurance coverage with Turo, and when the changes happen on July 31st, I'm going to bump that up to the 60%. So I'll be giving up an additional 10% of my revenues in order to have the insurance options where I have no deductibles and I don't have to worry about having that variable cost of doing business, because that can really add up very quickly, which is why I believe the 60% insurance option is the way to go. But of course, with the stipulation being if the market can support higher pricing, which is what I've been experimenting with. So throughout this entire month, I've lifted my prices roughly on average by about 12%. And I've gotten it very consistently, not only on the weekends, but also through the weekdays. So hopefully these are all really positive signs towards a market that can support higher pricing and people who are willing to pay that. Now, another thing that I really noticed this month as well is that I got a lot of renters who are new to the platform, which leads me to believe that maybe Turo has ramped up their ad spend and their marketing budget is back in place. Now, when the pandemic happened, that was one of the things that they totally cut back on because, of course, like all businesses, they wanted to make sure that they had enough cash flow to maintain operating expenses and just, their core cost of doing business. And now I think since the markets have picked up a little bit, it looks like advertising again and working on customer acquisition, bringing more people into the marketplace to rent off the platform, which is good because, you're getting people who are willing to pay the higher price. I'm going to continue to really watch that very, very closely over these next couple months. And that will really determine which direction I move in with my Turo business. That will determine if come December, I'll add some fun new cars to my fleet, or come December and maybe I'm thinking about deleveraging. Now, of course, I hope it's the first because there's some cars that I really, really have my eyes on that I would love to add as a part of my fleet and just offer a really awesome experience to guests on the platform. So fingers crossed that things go well. But you know what? We're in very unusual times, so I'm being vigilant, really keeping my eyes open and watching the trends very carefully, so I'll keep you guys posted. And I'm also wondering, I'm here in the Orange County area in California, Southern California, if you guys are seeing in your areas the market supporting higher prices. Let me know, comment below, and also mention which area you're in so it could help other hosts out as well. Okay, so I guess wanted to share a little bit of a tip. I'll share a story that I encountered yesterday with a renter. So I had a renter who booked one of my cars. It was a last minute booking. She was a first time renter on the platform. I sent her, all the messaging to upload her driver's license and a selfie with the license and so on and so forth. She got back to me prior to the start of the rental, uploaded her images, and it all checked out. Her pickup time was for 5:30 p.m. and, I let her know that everything was good to go and where the car was parked. I got home around, I want to say 7 o'clock yesterday, and I noticed that the car had not been picked up. So I sent her a message just asking her when she would be coming because it was getting late. No response from her at all. I believe I messaged her one more time and just never heard back. It was finally about 9 p.m. and I decided, if somebody is not responding back to you, they're a first-time renter on the platform, that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially since the trip had started so many hours earlier that I decided to make the call to have that reservation be a no-show. So basically a no-show is when it's 30 minutes past the start time of a guest trip, they don't show up, you can call into Turo. Turo will cancel the trip and you'll get, X amount of the day rate for the time that, those people didn't pick up the car, and basically for really taking up your calendar when you could have gotten another booking. So that's what I went ahead and did. And then it was interesting because at around 11 p.m. last night, I started getting phone calls from some random phone number. It didn't match any of my renters, so naturally I didn't answer. And then I started getting text messages from this number saying, "Hi, I'm here to pick up the car for so-and-so." They use the name of the renter, but it wasn't her phone number, and she didn't message me through the app, which led me to believe that the person who came to pick up the car was not the renter, and maybe the renter was booking the car for someone else. So at that point, I was really glad that I had called into Turo and did a no-show on that. So the point being, or the tip being, is that when something seems like it's not quite right, and if a renter isn't really communicating well, and in this situation when it's hours and hours way past the reservation time, something is up and it doesn't make sense, because a normal renter, if they are running late or if something did happen, they would communicate with you. And it's not like this was somebody who was coming from out of town and it was an airport pickup or something like that. This was local. The person was local, so it just didn't really add up too well. And so I'm really happy I did that, because it seems like the person that was going to pick it up was not the renter. And you just don't want to get yourself into a rental like that. So use those options that Turo provides if you find yourself in situations like that, and it could potentially save you from having a renter that may not be the best person for your vehicle. Now, of course, things like this are very rare. It's not something that's going to happen on the daily when you're renting out your cars, but when it does happen, you just want to make sure that you're really paying attention to your bookings. So even if you do have a lot of cars like I do, and I have a lot of reservations, I'm still very aware of each and every trip and how a person is communicating, and I can sense when something doesn't seem right. So you just want to stay vigilant when you are doing bookings. And also today I was just listening to something on the news, and it was something that I was thinking about too, just with the way that this year has gone, and with things like we're towards the end of July, so a lot of unemployment benefits are ending for people. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the job market. A lot of people are still laid off or furloughed and maybe not necessarily going out to work. So people are in very precarious positions, right? And sometimes when the environment sort of turns in that direction where people are unsettled and they're not in their normal routine of working, and with the holidays coming up, one of the things that I was listening to a report on is that the potential for crime rates to go up, right? And that could be crime in any category. So one of the things going into the second half of this year that I'm going to be very careful about is just making sure that you properly vet your renters. Make sure that you're thoroughly checking IDs. Make sure that their communication is good, that nothing really seems off, that you're really verifying who is picking up your car, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where somebody is grabbing your car to maybe go and do something that is not of legal means, so that's one of the things that kind of just popped into my head today, that I put on my radar, that okay, for the rest of this year I'm going to be very cautious and aware of the people renting my cars. Make sure that your GPS trackers are in your cars, make sure they're working, just be really dialed in, honed in with your vehicles, because at the end of the day it's going to save you headache and trouble if you have all the necessary precautions set in place. Then that if anything happens, you've done what you could, and the rest is where insurance steps in. So while these things are very rare, it's still very important to stay vigilant and stay on top of these things, because you can really save yourself a lot of time and headache from having to deal with stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, on that note, that's it for me for today. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow and we'll catch up on some updates. All right, you guys, take care. Have a great rest of your day. And once again, if you like this channel, be sure to subscribe. My name is Saimah and this is Saimah's Experience. Have an awesome week. Bye, guys. Oh, real quick, guys, I was just about to post this video and I remembered One, YouTube takes about 8 weeks to give you access to YouTube stories once you hit the 10K subscriber mark. So bear with me as I wait to get access to that, and I will share more of my day-to-day with you guys. And two, I am getting a new setup for microphones that I can use while I'm on the go. So I haven't done very many videos recently where I'm on the go and, you know, testing out new cars or whatever it might be, because my audio has always kind of suffered in those situations. So hang tight while I get those microphones, and I'll have some really fun upcoming content for you guys. All right, you guys, mwah, take care.